from the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
Hold on tight a little longer. What don't kill you make you stronger. Get back up, 'cause it's a whole love. You can't change without a fallout. It's gonna hurt, but don't slow down. Get back up, 'cause it's a whole love.
It's the week of Friday, July 22nd, 2016. My name is Jesse Carey, and I am the temporary fill-in host for the Relevant Podcast. Cameron Strang, our normal host, is on vacation this week, but thankfully we have a full cast here with us.
This is like when Joan Rivers used to step in for Johnny Carson.
Joining us on the Skype line from Portland, Oregon, Joy Egrich.
Present.
Reed.
This is the first time I've gotten to go first.
You didn't get her name right, and this sounds like we're on a Zoo morning show, but keep going.
I feel like you've started off on the wrong foot.
Yeah, do we have like sound effects? Like,
A little clown horn. Wah, wah, wah. You may have heard those other voices on the Skype lines as well. We have Adam Smith joining us from Australia.
Hey guys. I don't know what that was. That was overly exuberant. I'm sorry.
well, it's a Zoo morning show. You do what you want.
There's no such thing as over.
And we're back.
I'm Brian Phillips.
Hi, handsome Dan. That's a Wayne's World reference. A very good one, if you're wondering. And finally, in the Orlando studios, we have behind the board Chandler Strang, and last but not least, Eddie Big Cat Cowfolds. Say hi, guys.
Hey, what's up, dude? I don't know. I'm trying to do my morning voice, trying to figure out my vibe. Jesse, that was a great intro. You're doing a really good job. Have you hosted before?
I may have hosted one episode back in the day. I can't remember, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure it was scrubbed from the archives for reasons that are now apparent, though.
Because we've had Kiki host.
I hosted one episode that was actually recorded, but after every taping, he hosts his own episode in his room with his stuffed animal friends.
With a microphone I made out of a toilet paper roll. It's a lot of fun.
With your first slice, we've got Mr. Bear. Bear, what's going on in the world this week? All right.
Speak up.
We have a really great show for you, and it's brought to you today by, again, the country of Israel. That's right. Israel wants to encourage people to come visit and see all the incredible stuff there. If you've been thinking about taking your adventure to the next level, the Israel Ministry of Tourism is inviting you to experience Israel for yourself. There are tons of things to do in Israel. I know you guys talked about this last week, but has anyone on the line been to Israel?
Yes, I'm going in 2 weeks.
Adam, have you been to Israel?
Adam, you've never been to Israel, right? You've never been to anywhere except for Orlando and Australia. Is that correct?
That's right. Those are the only two places I've ever been. And I actually haven't even been anywhere in between those two places, even in transit.
Well, Adam, I'm going to suggest your next trip to you, Israel, because there are lots of things to see and do there, in addition to all the incredible history there, especially for people who have read the Bible. You can see where Jesus walked. You can visit all of the Old Testament, New Testament sites, but there's also a lot of culture going on there. You can take a beach, hit a cruise on the Mediterranean, go to the beach, visit the Dead Sea. Also, the food in Israel is incredible. You can do like a food tour in Israel alone.
That's actually the only reason I'm going in a few weeks.
What will be the main food that you sample while you're there in Israel?
I love like their breakfast platters always have, I feel like we don't usually have vegetables at breakfast, and they always have fresh fruit and vegetables and like dips. I love, sauces are like my second favorite food. So they have like tzatziki and hummus and all those good.
But you've brought up an interesting point that I'd like to camp on for 20-ish minutes. And I'd like to talk about dip viscosity, because like a light, watery kind of salsa, like I need that out of my home. But like a nice, thick, full hummus, now that is what I'm talking about. That's why I'd like to go to Israel.
Well, I was going to say, that's the great thing. There's crazy good foods in Israel. There's also a lot of art studios and art museums. There's a great art culture there. Obviously, museums. There's fashion shows. There's tons to do and see. It's cheaper and safer than you've ever imagined. And we want to encourage people to go to Israel.travel. That's the website, to discover a side of Israel you've never seen before. A really cool place to go. I was on the website yesterday. I don't have any immediate travel plans, but I've always wanted to go to Israel. if you've ever thought about it, if you go to Israel.travel, it will entice you to book your trip very quickly. It's a very cool site, and there's lots to do there. So check it out, and thank you to Israel.travel for sponsoring the show today. On the show, Switchfoot frontman John Foreman joins us to discuss the 5 songs that changed his life. I really like this segment because you get to know the songwriter a little. So he'll be on with us later. And then also Jeremy Courtney, the founder of the organization Preemptive Love. He comes on to talk to us about the situation in Iraq. There's a lot been going on over there. I know headlines domestically have been, filled with things, involving politics and different, news events happening here. But he's going to catch up on some of the recent events in Iraq, where the country is headed, and how you can help the organization. So great show.
Oh, good.
All of that is coming up. But first, I want to just talk about last week for a second.
Yeah, it was a interesting show. It was the first show that I've ever been on that Jesse wasn't on, and I got to tell you, it was a great show. It was a really nice change of pace.
I was on vacation last week, so I was not on the show. But that's because days prior, I had been trapped in the cage, as they say. I did an event where it was the follow up to the Nickelback challenge, and this one I watched Nicolas Cage movies for 24 hours consecutively. Yeah. And I want to say, because I didn't get an opportunity, thank you to everyone who donated, seriously, because we raised like $30,000, or they raised $30,000
That's an
with their
incredible
generosity.
amount of money.
That's wild.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it was a harrowing experience, but here's why it gave me pause, because 2 years ago it was the Nickelback, or last year was the Nickelback challenge, listening to Nickelback for a week straight. This year was Trapped in the Cage, where I had to watch Nicolas Cage movies for 24 hours.
Got to watch Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I had the privilege of watching. Here's what makes me nervous. I feel like the bar is going to be raised for next year's fundraiser for Charity
Things
Water.
are escalating.
Yeah,
They're
it's
really
like
escalating.
all that's left is like body mutilation or something. Like you're gonna have to get like I don't know.
Like
I feel
a tattoo?
like I'm totally fine with the escalation as long as Eddie and I don't have to get involved.
Yeah. I support as crazy as this gets as long as I can show up for 20 minutes and leave. And I just like to be Mr. Mayor in this
If
situation.
I can tune in on YouTube, I'm good to go.
Right.
Can I tell you the only thing that I could think of that would like up the ante, and it would kind of stay in the same vein of like the culture that we have to immerse ourselves in for these challenges to work, going from Nickelback.
Wait. Now listen, I'm going to give you an out because you're about to basically lock yourself into next year's challenge.
I'm not locking in. I'm throwing this out there because I want the feedback of everyone on right now.
Mark my words. Somebody mark this. Jesse's about to announce what he's doing next year.
I think Jesse's addicted to it. I think he likes it.
No, trust me.
It's a high.
All right, say what you're going to say.
I enjoy the community. I'm glad that we raise money, but the actual challenges are get pretty pretty intense. But the only thing, so going from Nickelback to Nicolas Cage, like what could possibly come back on that cultural spectrum? And the only thing that I can think of is, and I don't know, because this is actually putting my physical health at risk here, is a challenge called Lost in Flavor Town. And it's where I am forced to eat nothing but Guy Fieri branded foods.
Oh,
there's a Guy Fieri restaurant right next to us.
Yeah,
is that what you mean by branded food, or does he have his own food line?
I think he's got frozen foods too.
So.
But
and that really takes it up a notch. That's not even fresh Guy Fieri food. It's frozen Guy Fieri food.
But by next year, there's actually a Guy Fieri restaurant opening in town. So
you can eat at any Guy Fieri brand. Now, what about diners, drive-ins, and dives?
No. It has to be either at one of his restaurant and I think he's got like, like Jimmy Buffett has like Margaritaville, fish sticks or whatever. I think he has frozen. If not, I have to eat every meal at a Guy Fieri restaurant.
Okay. I'm going to say this right now. Jesse,
okay.
I will personally pledge $500 if one of these appetizers is fed to you baby bird style by Guy Fieri.
Okay, I got to tell you something.
Okay.
I was in New Smyrna Beach this past weekend with my family. And, we're just having quite a time at the beach. The girls go to bed early, and we're stuck in this condo, and it's lovely, but we're just watching, cable, because we don't have cable at home. So we're just watching whatever's on cable. And there was a diners, drive-ins, and dives marathon. And like, I ended up being like, I'll watch a couple of minutes of this.
Yeah.
And like 3 hours later, I kind of think I like Guy Fieri, right? Like, he seems like a pretty cool
This
dude.
Guy Fieri fellow is a delight.
Like, he seems like a really nice fella. I'm a little vexed by his choice of hair and like clothing and jewelry.
Aesthetic, yeah.
Like, his whole aesthetic gets me, but I'm like, cool dude, right?
I mean, I think I will say this: like, if I were to hang out with either Nicolas Cage, Chad Kroeger, or Guy Fieri, well, I'd probably choose Nicolas Cage just because I think it would end up with the best stories. But I think Guy Fieri would be the most normal dude.
Right.
But I feel like he is the like culinary version of Nickelback or Nicolas Cage. I'm not.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But I think that's fair.
That's exactly right, because it's not like you're going to go to his restaurant and it's going to be like, oh, we have just a lightly roasted goose with just kind of a subtle note of whatever.
You know what you get at his? It's
piles of gravy.
It's the bodacious buffalo burger with extra donkey sauce.
Yeah. It's served to you by like slapping you in the face with it.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's what I'm so curious about is because his restaurants, he's been to a few around here in Portland, and the one near us is like he leaves his mark by spray painting his image on their wall. Have you seen that?
How large?
That's like his mark.
How large is he defacing their wall?
It's about a foot, about 18 inches high by about a foot wide, and it is a stencil of his face.
It's like he has like a couple different stencils that they do like layers. So it'll be like the neon orange and then like another layer with silver, and then he signs his name. But it's like the restaurant, it is like this industrial, very Portlandy looking thing. And then you like in your peripheral see this like neon graffiti, and it's Guy Fieri's face staring back at you.
It's really a Faustian bargain that they're making because they get on TV, but they have to have like a bank.
Branded.
Yeah.
And I feel like a Guy Fieri meal is as close as you can come. The experience of it is tantamount to being shot in the face with the fire hose of buffalo wing sauce.
That's actually
again. I believe he only has donkey sauce.
yeah, and I believe that,
Joy, since you're a big sauce person, this challenge may be more up your alley because I think everything that he serves is drenched in this stuff.
Truth be told, for having about 20 different sauces in my fridge, I don't know what donkey sauce is.
No one does.
Okay, imagine buffalo wing sauce, but with frosted tips.
with a bowling shirt with flames up it. And, so I've been thinking a lot, but again, if I do that, I feel like these other ones like have been psychological. This is a physical endurance challenge because I think my body, it'll be like Morgan, it's kind of a Morgan Spurlock thing. But I think, you know, if I did it for like 2 weeks or something, I literally think the tips of my hair would be frosted halfway in, even though I would not have touched it with any sort of hair product.
I just imagine if they did a video montage of this, like the last scene would be you slowly walking across a parking lot, and we see you from behind, and you just have a Pepto-Bismol bottle like hanging in your hand.
But Eddie is right here that it is bizarre, Jesse, that you have been able to identify these seemingly disparate things that somehow it's like you've stumbled across the world's most disturbing Venn diagram.
right.
And you're occupying a space just directly in the middle of it.
Right.
That's why I'm scared. That's why, like, it's not next year that scares me. It's 3 years from now.
Right. No, that's right.
Yeah. Like how deep does this rabbit hole go, guys? You know this is going to end with me dying in it, right?
But it's for charity water.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to keep this train trucking down the tracks here.
I love this.
We're going to.
I love him, host.
You like that transition?
I do. You're such a good host.
You run a tight ship.
I feel
Jesse.
like you went 2 weeks ago. You were brother. You went on vacation. Now you're dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, and I just botched a metaphor. There's no truck going down the tracks. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
But I'm
Train going on down the highway.
I'm going to keep this locomotive moving. I mean, it's already a runaway train of disaster, but it's
Right.
only going to get worse from here. All right, so next up, we have our look at what's going on in entertainment and culture. It's time for...
In case you missed it.
Okay, so how much time do you guys think you spend watching Netflix right now? Just real quick around the table.
Oh, I would... like a day?
Yeah, on any given day.
An hour. I would say I watch something every evening.
I don't have Netflix.
Without being interrupted by a baby, like 6 minutes.
Joy, what about you? How often do you watch Netflix?
I feel like I'll go for a long time with not, and then I binge.
Yeah. Well, they are trying to figure out a way to keep people on the site or keep coming back if they're not someone who regularly watches it, for hours at a time. They just released a new feature this week, in case you missed it, called Flixtape, which allows people to make custom shareable playlists like a mixtape. So basically, you can go in your Netflix account now, create a Flixtape mix, and you don't even have to pick all of the titles. What you do is you just kind of pick what mood you're in or what genre you like or just some keywords. They'll populate a playlist, and you can insert things in and out and share them with your friends in an effort to make it even more addictive. I personally used to exchange mixtapes all the time. And, if someone gave me like a curated list of like the best of Arrested Development or something, I think I would, spend even more time wasting my life watching TV.
Yeah. Well, and it's probably if you share it with friends, then at least you guys are all like on the same track of what to talk about.
Yeah.
Gosh, I will tell you, binge watching though, like the suggestion idea has never worked for me because I am so picky about what I'll watch. Like I feel like I have to have like 5 people recommend it and say that it's awesome, and none of those people are people that have ever recommended anything that wasn't good. And then finally, like begrudgingly, 6 months later, I'll be like, okay, I'll watch Making a Murder, and then it is totally amazing.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to click on anything just to like when people are like, oh, I just watched this season, it was okay.
Yeah, well,
that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, thank you.
So in case you missed it, the ESPYs last week. Did you guys watch the ESPYs?
I did watch it.
The ESPYs opened last week with a really powerful call. It was open with Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James, 4 huge NBA stars.
And those are all basketball men.
They are very very good basketball men, and they opened the show with a call to end the violence around the country, and it was really powerful. Chris Paul himself is the nephew of a police officer, but they're also all speaking out against injustice and police brutality and just violence in general. And we have a clip here. If Chandler, if you want to cue that up.
We all feel helpless and frustrated by the violence. We do. But that's not acceptable. It's time to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, what are we doing to create change? It's not about being a role model. It's not about our responsibilities to the tradition of activism. I know tonight we'll honor Muhammad Ali, the GOAT. But to do his legacy any justice, let's use this moment as a call to action for all professional athletes to educate ourselves, explore these issues, speak up, use our influence, and renounce all violence. And most importantly, go back to our communities, invest our time, our resources, help rebuild them, help strengthen them, help change them. We all have to do better. Thank you.
That was LeBron, in case you guys didn't recognize his voice. But I think it's really cool that, sports figures are becoming increasingly important parts of the cultural dialogue, especially in times of turmoil like we've seen lately.
Well, and I've been pretty impressed with the almost the requirement of big shows like this to address the topics that are happening. And it kind of feels like I don't make a judgment on if they've been done better or worse, but I think I'm just grateful that it's so much a part of the cultural lexicon at this point that you have to say something, and we're all doing the best we can to figure out how to lead this conversation well. And so like the BET Awards just did an incredible job of, who was it? Kendrick Lamar and Beyonce opening the show.
Yeah. And Jesse Williams from
Oh yeah. I mean, it was just incredible, but I'm just glad that it's, the precedence is there to like, okay, we can't say nothing. And and I thought that these guys did a really good job respectfully and really thoughtfully opening the show.
Well, we saw the same thing with James Corden opening the Tonys right after following the Orlando shooting, because anything, even the Tonys, the award shows, the ESPYs, any of them are ultimately celebrations of especially sports stuff, of things that are trivial. You know what I mean? And that people turn to primarily for escapism and entertainment. But for the acknowledgement that just because that's the reason we watch sports is, for entertainment and distraction, it doesn't absolve them from acknowledging their influential role in the culture. And like you said, Eddie, I think it does make it, it adds a bit of like, it ends the detachment of like, well, this is a separate thing than culture. It's like, no, that we all have a role in addressing what's going on. And they did it in a way that was tastefully and respectfully done. And they, like you said, they're articulate and said some really encouraging things.
I think it encourages people, even who might not have a platform like them, that to not say something because I don't know what to say is also hurtful.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, you can at least, feel empowered to say, even though it may be self-evident, but, let's stand against this violence and let's do something together, because even just those kind of gestures have power. Yeah. Well, in case you missed it, some other big news in culture this week, speaking of some of your Netflix viewing habits, Making a Murderer is coming back for season 2.
Oh, now,
I just read about that.
How? I mean, what else is there to say? I don't want to, well, I guess.
Well, it's kind of like, what's that podcast that got really popular?
Serial.
It's like Serial.
Relevant.
Coming back to do another season about some other story.
Well, this one is actually following up on the same story of Stephen Avery, but it's going to follow his post-conviction process because since
he continued on, right? On his own? Well, how much are we allowed to say?
Anything
I feel
you
like
want.
Jesse doesn't care.
You can spoil anything you want.
No.
Fast forward now.
I think at this point, if you haven't seen Making a Murderer, then we may spoil it. But we can go ahead and say, hey, Adam, have you seen Making a Murderer?
Yeah.
The premise is, there was a guy, Stephen Avery, and his nephew named Brendan were convicted of a murder. And, there was some possibly shoddy police work. And during the first one, it raised all these questions about the process and if they're actually guilty or not. But since then, there's been so much interest in the case that he actually has new defense attorneys who are going through this appeal and post-conviction process, presenting new evidence to try to get Brendan and Avery released. So the new series is going to follow that process. But yeah, I don't know exactly how it's going to play out tonally compared to the first one.
This is the hard thing a little bit with the next Netflix show, because I've noticed this a few times with their programming. Like, it's like there were shows that you can tell they thought it was going to be a one-off series. Then it explodes. Then they sort of scramble to figure out like
what can we do now?
Right,
like,
exactly. But like there are even drama, like that show Bloodline. Season 1, it ended. Season
1 was phenomenal.
It was so good. Like, the show's done. That's it. It was a one-off miniseries. Then season 2 is like, oh, I see. Now we're trying to figure out how to weave in stuff into a story that it completely finished. That's kind of what I feel like with Making a Murderer. It's like it was a perfect thing. Just find a new case and do the same. But it's impossible to do because they've been.
I do feel like they could take it from the I feel like I've learned so much about our justice system by watching the O.J. Simpson thing. And there's just a fascinating learning process I think Americans can do. So this appeal, maybe, obviously the story of what happened isn't unfolding, but if they can do it in a way that engages people enough, I feel like it's a really great learning tool.
Well, Joy, the fact that you just disagreed with me really hurt my feelings.
I'm so sorry. I'll write you an apology letter.
So they haven't released a production date, but it's in production now because all these appeals are going on. But yeah, at the very least, I think people will tune in just to kind of get an update on the case. But the internet kind of ruins that too, because we know things before we can see them on Netflix too. Right. Like if I'm interested in the case, I can just Google what the latest
that's the thing is before Netflix, no one knew about this case outside of a very small sphere of people, and now everyone knows about it. So what kind of show can you make that a devotee of that show hasn't already found that information on their own?
Exactly.
It's really going to come down to the execution. If they can keep the pacing and kind of interesting style of the first season, but we'll see. Yeah. It'll be out soon.
The key is just make stuff up.
Yeah, I also read that most of the things in season 2 are going to be fabricated.
Right.
It's a work of fiction. They're actually going to bring in characters from Bloodline. It's going to be kind of a crossover thing. So in case you missed it, finally, Jeremy Cowart, the celebrity photographer and activist, has launched a Kickstarter this week for something he's called the Purpose Hotel, which is a social justice focused hotel where everything in this hotel, the first one's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee, and there's eventually plans to make it a chain, will go towards providing for humanitarian organizations, for people in need around the world. Their vision is that a one-night stay in the hotel will elevate the lives of at least 100 people around the world. Here's a little clip of Jeremy explaining it from the Kickstarter page.
So here is how it will work. Each room will sponsor a child's education. Every door will have a name and a story. Every aspect of your stay will help others reclaim their dignity and earn a living, from the minibar to the hand-sewn comforter, the soaps, even down to the furniture and the store in the lobby. We are making this hotel to be life-giving to the people who need it most. We think the most powerful symbol for that is a functioning charity water well in the lobby. So drink up. And of course, there will be free Wi-Fi. But if you need faster Wi-Fi, that money will fight against human trafficking. There will be an open co-working space allowing you to collaborate and dream up even greater ideas. The hallways will be lined with the most iconic humanitarian art and photography, highlighting projects happening all over the world. The conference rooms will host world-changing events and gatherings, including the annual Help Portrait event. At any other hotel, you simply get a receipt showing where your money went. At the Purpose Hotel, your receipt will also show your impact on the world.
So what you don't hear is the visuals that are happening, which is like there's like little arrows and things that are pointing to like the bedding is made by, I forget who it is. It's somebody like Saribari or somebody.
Like the keys to the room
Right.
are like giving keys from the organization.
Yes, that's exactly right. And the soap is made by an organization. It's really interesting. I'm wondering what the price point for the hotel room is, because whatever it is, it's totally worth it, and I think it's cool. But I'm curious if this will appeal to like a luxury market, or will like people that are traveling actually be able to choose this instead of staying at like a Holiday Inn or something.
Yeah, that's what I feel like businesses will be all about, sending their employees.
Yeah.
On some level, they might be able to even write it off. But I feel like most companies are wanting to make good choices with their finances. And this is...
Can I tell you one thing, though? The co-working space... Oh, get me away from all those people. I wanted him to say, and also there's little like soundproof cubicles that no one will bother you in.
For the introverts that stay here, like Eddie Koffold.
You can lock yourself in your room and no one will talk to you.
Soundproof pods.
Because you don't really need the ideas of other people. You've got it figured out.
Well, their goal is to raise over the next 40 odd days $2 million, and they've already. It's just been up like a day. Well, as of recording this, they've already raised $130,000. And may I recommend to Jeremy, if he's listening right now,
yes,
Lost in Flavortown. If you want to take the Guy Fieri challenge instead of me, I welcome that. Like, if he wants to commit himself to eating nothing but Guy Fieri food to raise money for this, I welcome that.
Yeah, I dare him.
Yeah, in fact, I dare you.
I would also like to say that for this week only, whoever will give them $1,000, I will unblock them. So that's my contribution. So
you can follow that at Kickstarter and learn more about it. We also have a little write-up at relevantmagazine.com. So that'll do it for In Case You Missed It. Next up, Slices.
You walk the line, no, the line, no. You walk the line, no. You are defiant, the lights go. You walk the line, no.
So right now you're listening to Lion from the artist Casey Hill. I have no quick... Does anyone have a pun they can make there?
A Lion by Casey Hill.
That's the only part of hosting the show I didn't prepare for was to make puns about the names of songs.
Cameron doesn't do it either. He doesn't prepare it.
Oh, okay. Just on.
Does he prepare it?
It's his gift. It's his gift.
I don't think he prepares
He's
it.
just riffing, guys.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
think you
I can't. There are some things I have to just concede that.
Well, let's just
my
hit him.
game hasn't got to that level yet.
Just make a note of it, and we'll hit him with a rapid fire when he gets back.
Yeah. So you're listening to yeah, exactly. I'll send him the playlist after. You listen to Lion by Casey Hill, and at the beginning of the podcast, you heard Hard Love from the band Need to Breathe. A very cool song, kind of a different kind of sound for them, but
Yeah, way different than what they're usually doing.
yeah, it's a pretty good jam.
What are we using the word jam for, Dad? Come on. Keep moving.
Oh, this tune is real nice.
Spin that record. Call your local DJ, ask him to play Need to Breathe. Coming up next.
Hey, we're back.
Bill Haley in the comments.
Handsome Dan, ladies and gentlemen.
Jeez.
All right, we're going to mix things up a little since I'm hosting. I'm not going to go first. Let's do Adam. Why don't you go first today, man?
I'll go.
Oh, Joy.
Joy. Okay, Joy, let's.
Okay, so I
us
often will tweet, like, send me great slices. This week, I didn't even tweet, and all the listeners, I got 4 really great slices. So I'm gonna say just a little tidbit about each one, and you guys decide. There's one from Kiki on German inventions. There's one from Evan on fast food. There's one from Brooke on health and wellness, and one from Emily on ASMR, aka Joy's personal problems. Which do you want to hear about?
I feel like I speak for everyone when we're all thinking German robots, but I will go around the room.
Yeah, well, also Kiki just had our baby, like our podcast baby.
Yeah.
So,
and I was going to say
offense,
Kiki
Adam.
is a long-time friend of the podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's hard when Kiki gives something to not. So if it's okay, I'd like to request that our dear friend Kiki get her slice read.
Is that what we want? Are we consensus?
Yeah.
You had me at German. You sealed the deal with robots. So.
And I don't. This is why I don't need a
Kiki's been a
co-working
friend
space.
of the podcast since the golden era.
God, can you disconnect him?
Oh, I remember those days, Adam.
Disconnect him.
They were glorious.
So now for the letdown. This article was mostly a video, but it was a fascinating video. Basically, Germans, which are my people, created this nonprofit
your people,
research.
just out of curiosity, is that your ancestry?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
I think I'm a bunch of things, but I claim German. That's what I took for 2 years in high school. I can still count to 10 in German. I'm pretty
That
proud.
counts then.
Yeah. I'm German.
I'm pretty sure you're pretty much a citizen at this point.
So basically, this machine was created by a nonprofit research center called FZI. And at their big trade show, they just set up this robot that can perfectly cook bratwurst. And I think bratwurst, it's probably like the German national food, right?
Isn't that just called a grill?
Yeah.
I mean, like if someone said, "Hey, perfectly cooked bratwurst," okay, I put it on the grill.
Yeah, I think George Foreman already beat them to that innovation.
Yeah. Well, I know. I'm like, how hard is it? I mean, are they like sticking temperature gauges in these bratwursts? I don't think it's that hard to cook bratwurst. But the thing is that makes it unique is that there's like a little screen. I mean, I checked on the video. I checked to see if there was anybody standing around. This little robot, he had a little chef's hat on, little smiley face, and there's like a screen. Someone can walk up and put their bratwurst order. Now, I don't know if this is like, I want ketchup, mustard. I don't know if it does all that. But basically, it can sense on the grill when there's a missing brat, and it replaces it, cooks it to perfection, whatever German perfection is. And then it like picks it up,
Well,
sets it on a plate, and picks up the plate and hands it to the customer, and then says something like, enjoy your food, or different things in German to the customer.
I have a couple questions about this that I feel like there's a couple things to unpack here.
One.
First off, is like, okay, so it's not just like a device; it's an actual robot. For one.
Oh yeah, it's got a little face.
The other, it's got a face. All right,
Yeah.
so
Well, by face I mean a screen that they have a little mustache.
it's got a robotic but human-like features. Like it's modeled after a weird brat chef.
Yeah, like a face and one big arm.
Okay.
If that's
A one-armed. It's modeled after Germany's famous one-armed brat chef.
Who actually, we don't have context for it, but in Germany, this is a very nostalgic robot. They love this guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a national
the
hero.
one-armed chef.
But I can't imagine how much it costs to build, and the technology that goes into something that is ultimately that you could teach a child to cook a brat. You know what I mean? Like any human could easily learn to do this in minutes. But imagine if you're an engineer that has the technical ability to build a robot that's intelligent enough to look at like some kind of cooking service and realize, oh, this brat needs to be turned. I got to get it to the perfect temperature. I got to deliver it to the human. I got to take their order. Like if you're the engineer who spent their whole life like learning robotic technology, and your first assignment is, hey, listen, we're going to pay you. We're going to pay you a lot of money to build a robot, but here's the thing: it's a robot that cooked brats.
Yeah,
like all your whole career is culminated with basically a giant microwave, dude.
But again, I think we're missing a cultural context to this, because in Germany there could be nothing more important. Like he is hailed as a god, and because he has finally made a replication of Brutus or whatever the guy's name is.
Even if it's the national food, or because I was thinking, okay, so a restaurant's going to get this, but I think part of the novelty is that the person can walk up, they can type in their order, they can get their bratwurst. So a restaurant's not necessarily going to need it. The only environment that I feel like this would work is something like a trade show or I'm trying to think of the name for like a German festival. But it still feels like if you watch, it doesn't, the robot doesn't move that fast. Like I'm still sitting there thinking, if there was a guy like working a grill, he'd move a lot quicker than this robot would.
I think that in robot technology, there is way too much of a focus to make the robot like a person. Whereas I feel like if they had just said like, all right, we're not even trying to make this like a person. We are making this an efficient hot dog machine. Then
exactly. But we already have those. They're called microwaves. People use them every day, and they've been around since.
But I'm saying there's a way that thing can like toss something on the grill, infrared sensor, pop it off on a plate.
But what you're talking about is the spinning plate in the microwave. We've had that for a long time. It's just weird to me that these robotic companies like are obsessed with building robots that do totally trivial, dumb things. Like, hey, look, this one can walk gently on a treadmill. Oh, cool. Well. So, you know what I mean? Or here's one that can walk up and down 3 stairs. Oh, the end is near.
I'm just still not past the fact that it was a famous chef that died and they've replicated him. And now like the chef's kids go to the restaurant. They're like, eats my Faja Brutus. Oh! And they're like crying and his like one arm
I'm sure the kids appreciate you making fun of them.
Yeah. Well, I'll close it out with this. You guys are going to go nuts over this. The article, I don't know if it was the article that named this or the scientist who named this, but it's called The Worst Robot, WURST.
So it's diverse.
This is the worst robot we could make.
Well, Joy, that is interesting. Thank you, Kiki, for contributing it. Adam, what do you got for us, man?
Okay, are you guys playing this Pokemon Go?
I haven't heard of this.
I am, yeah. For sure.
It's in Australia?
Yeah. Australia was actually one of the first countries we got before you guys. So.
I had heard that.
Yeah, because they got to beta test it on the commoners before they sent it out to the king. I understand.
They have to figure out if any of the Pokemon were going to become sentient and kill people.
We need them on like an isolated far corner of the globe. Yeah.
Did you find a Pokemon at the Sydney Opera House? Because that's the only place you can go there, right?
That's all you have.
That's where I live, so
In my mind, you live by the Opera House. John Travolta flies all of your Qantas planes to and from, and then like that's really your whole life.
I didn't know John Travolta lived in Australia.
Yeah, no, well, he's an official Qantas pilot.
Oh, okay.
So perfectly.
They were the only ones who would have him.
So
he just showed up. Yeah.
Pokemon Go.
So you guys are playing the Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this. I'm not playing, but I have played. Like, I downloaded the app and I've caught a couple Pokemon, but I'm not regularly playing. Yeah, I could see the appeal.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I'm clearly too old for this because I was old enough that I was an adult by the time that Pokemon became popular. So I have no context for it. Yeah. I've never played a Pokemon game. I've never seen a Pokemon cartoon, and God help me, I cannot stop. I can't stop catching these Pokemon.
Dude, I'm so glad to hear that.
Honestly, it's an obsession. But it's led some people to some kind of interesting outcomes, I would say. A guy in New York lost his girlfriend while trying to catch some Pokemon. He was trying to catch them all. But unfortunately, the mapping software on Pokemon Go let his girlfriend see all the places that he was catching his Pokemon, one of which places was his ex-girlfriend's house.
What?
Yeah, but in fairness, there was a really hard to catch one with like feathers and whatnot, and so.
But maybe his ex-girlfriend had been putting out a lure. You can pay for lures, and it draws
put out the lure.
It's true. It's true. I actually wrote a piece about how to sell your house using Pokemon Go. And that was one of the primary pieces of advice is put out a lure and then hold an open house.
Yeah.
There are tons of unintended consequences of Pokemon Go. I think the question of the week, we asked people to write in their craziest Pokemon Go stories, so we'll get to that. But
another one that happened is the Manchester, New Hampshire, the police department actually set up on their Facebook page they said that they had a Charizard, which is one of the rare Pokey.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Nerd.
He's like a dragon, right?
Yeah.
Inviting
Charizard,
people whose names were on a list to be one of the lucky ones to come capture the Charizard. And it was people who had outstanding warrants.
Oh, that's
so
fun.
they were actually using Pokemon Go to try and lure people
Oh, no.
with outstanding warrants.
That's really funny.
That seems, I'm no legal expert, but that seems like the definition of entrapment.
Yeah.
It feels like when the Supreme Court finally gets that case in front of them, they're just going to roll their eyes and all quit. Like, this is not.
I like to think that when the fugitives showed up, that they at the very least tried to capture them using Pokeballs.
At least they could have had some
Holds
novelty, like
still.
Pokemon handcuffs or something.
Yeah.
So
hilarious.
yeah, lots of, and these honestly, that's only a handful of the bizarre stories that this app has generated so far.
crazy.
So, but I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more between now and next week when we all collectively move on to some other thing to distract us from our looming mortality.
From the crippling reality of our everyday lives.
That's right. Yeah.
Totally agree, man. And thankfully, these pixelated monsters are really giving me a distraction, so I don't have to think about the decisions that have led up to the point in my life. So that's totally, man. So I have a quick slice from golfer Bubba Watson. I'm not a big golfer. I don't enjoy. I play golf occasionally, but every time I'm out there, I wish I wasn't out there. Like it's golf is expensive. It's always hot when you play. You got to get up early. It's any sport where there's only a couple, like any sport where one that you have to dress up to actually participate in and not wear athletic clothes. I have to dress better than I do in my day-to-day life, like going out to dinner, than I have to for playing golf. Like that is not appealing to me.
Understood.
Yeah.
It's like when baseball players, the uniform requires him to wear a belt. Like that alone would not make me want to be a baseball player.
I get all of that.
Like I got to tuck my shirt in to play a sport. It makes zero sense.
Yeah, that is a great point. What is it?
Yeah.
Just because they're trying to be just fancy gentlemen?
Yeah, I mean they're wearing leather belts while playing. I think we've talked about this before.
I've always found that bizarre.
But the same thing with
thankfully,
golf.
they've done away with the tie, though.
Yeah, exactly.
And the briefcase. They used to, in the early days of baseball, they actually had to carry a briefcase with them when they came up to bat.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, batting averages were super low. It's almost impossible. No one ever really got on base. Games lasted forever.
Yeah, well, and the game was judged not just by the final score, but who could turn in the best budget report.
Yeah, the whoever TPS report was turned in on time. So Bubba Watson was trying to figure out a way to spice up the game of golf to make it appeal to people who may not be that into golf. But like I said, I think there's a lot of things about it that I don't I don't like, which I've laid out there. But he's partnered with his sponsor Oakley, the sunglass and apparel maker, to create an alternative to the golf cart. A couple years ago, the Oakley made something called Bubba's Hover, which was basically a hovercraft that you could drive around the golf course. The idea is that you could drive it right on the green and it wouldn't mess up the grass because it's actually floating above. It was cool, but it was basically a golf cart that floats. Now they've taken it up a notch, and they've recently released the first ever Bubba's Jetpack. Cool. And it is a giant jetpack.
I was so hoping that's what you were going to say.
Yes, they have created. It's a giant jetpack that you strap onto your back that you just fly to the different points in the golf course, so that there's no walking involved, which I think if you can eliminate more of the actual athleticism out of a sport, the more appealing it instantly becomes. It's why bowling is so great. It's the only sport where you can eat nachos between plays and it won't affect the outcome.
By the way, next week's slice, golfer Bubba Watson dead at 37.
Right. Tragic.
Masters champion. He floated away. We don't know where he is. The jetpack took off and he hasn't been seen since.
Missing, presumed dead.
Presumed dead. He's in orbit. But it's a giant jetpack that you basically fly around the course in. and they're releasing it in, actually, it was developed by engineers in Australia, and I think they're actually giving it to a golf course down there so that, people that have enough money can go sample with it. I'll say this. If golf courses suddenly had jetpacks that you could rent at the pro shop, they could just eliminate the golf portion of the whole activity, and it would be more fun than if you just say, okay, you have these awesome fields with like lakes and bunkers and obstacles to just fly around in for 4 hours on a jetpack. I would rather do that than play golf. I think it's a great thing.
Here's my question though: is there? I mean, there's little roads for the golf carts for a reason, to minimize people getting hit by golf balls. So what's going to be the routes for these jetpacks?
Well, everyone will be armed with golf clubs, so it'll kind of be like jousting, I think.
To your question, Joy, I think that the game with jetpacks gets closer to that Harry Potter game, right? Aren't we just moving towards
I forget what that's called.
Golf into, what is it, Quidditch?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Right.
So, there's going to be a lot of people screaming for.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing that Bubba Watson said, that even if people don't use it, he said, you know what, it will get them out to the course and maybe be interested and say, you know what, golf is actually fun to be around, so why not play it? Why not play it, Bubba? Because I get the opportunity to ride a sweet hovercraft instead. Like, I'm looking at the reason not to play.
To your point, the entire purpose of golf, the core point of it, is to play as little golf as possible. That's actually how you win the game, is to play less golf than everyone else.
And I feel like they kind of went overboard on this. According to CNBC, who reported on the story, it can fly to an altitude of 3,000 feet and reach speeds of 50 miles an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
So it's not just like you're cruising up, right above the green. I mean, you could literally get, in airspace up here.
Wow.
It's all fun and games until Arnold Palmer decides he wants to try it. And the sweet guy is like, 92? And he just disappears into the ether. Well, that's that.
Yeah, I can't imagine golf courses are really going to want to take on the liability of this. Especially, as Adam mentioned, the people golf and drink. And now they're going to have jetpacks.
I fully support any activity that they want to introduce jetpacks to. I think it's a good thing. So I think it should be introduced to Pokemon Go.
I agree with you on that one.
All right, Eddie, what do you got, man?
Well, this slice was, I mean, the story is pretty quick, but I just really wanted to get people's thoughts on it because I've been thinking about it a lot. Leslie Jones, who of course is hilarious on SNL and one of the new cast members of the Ghostbusters movie, which has been really an interesting ramp up to that movie. People just were really intense about that, and we could talk about that. And then I guess the reviews have been kind of mixed, right? It hasn't been.
It's been mostly positive. I looked yesterday. I think it's it's over 70% on Tomatoes.
So it's like a fine movie and a good comedy. And Paul Feig, I guess the guy from what was his show that he did?
Freaks and Geeks. He was also wrote a bunch of The Office. He's done a ton of stuff. Like he did Bridesmaids. He's done a lot of big movies.
So a lot of heavy hitters in this. Yeah. So Leslie Jones is big on Twitter, and she's really funny on Twitter and sends out a lot of fun behind the scenes pictures of her filming and doing press tours. A couple days ago, she starts retweeting tweets that had been sent to her, and I can't even begin to read them to you because they were the most vile, like deeply racist, awful things I couldn't believe anyone would write it. I couldn't believe it existed. And I guess that's my own, but it was just so hateful.
Yeah, for someone having the audacity to be in a movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who's a professional actress. Right. Because a lot of them were, based on, either misogyny or racism too.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, it wasn't dogging the movie because she could handle people being critical of a movie, and that's been happening, and they've all been sort of dealing with that. But it was deeply racist and misogynistic, awful things. So she goes on a rant, basically, and starts retweeting this, just retweeting all of the hate. And it was painful to see because it felt like it was this hidden part of Twitter that or social media that, like, we've all read really unkind comments on articles we've written, but typically it certainly hasn't been really personal or racist or any of that stuff. So she just uncovers this awful part of Twitter to which people start to respond with love for Leslie and all of this kind of stuff, like famous people. And so there's a backlash of people just saying like, hey, we love you. This is awful, but just so you know, we love you. So there was this whole kind of dual narrative happening where she's exposing the awful dark racism and hate. And also people are just sending huge amounts of love for her. And at the end, she finally wrote a tweet that says, I leave Twitter tonight with tears and a very sad heart. She said this late on Monday. All this because I did a movie. You can't hate this movie, but the S, she's cursed, the S today, I got today was wrong. And basically, then she's quit Twitter. And she's done. Now, she hasn't disabled her account, but that was her last tweet, and she has just disappeared from the Twitterverse because of this hate. Now, there's been a few interesting reactions to this. One has been people calling on Twitter to have more increased restrictions for this kind of hate speech, in which she got a tweet from one of the founders and I guess the CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, I think his name is, to DM her personally, then they would help with this. I also noticed on her account that a lot of the tweets that she retweeted were no longer available. So there has been some sort of movement to delete some of this content.
Yeah.
But it has been interesting because it has sort of brought up the question, what is the responsibility of social media for censoring this kind of speech? There's a case to be made that, well, it's free speech. And even if we say things that are awful, we still have the right to say those awful things. I don't agree with that. I'll just say the opinion.
I think when those things cross the line to being threatening toward another person, that transcends the boundaries of free speech.
The other element here that obviously, there's no explanation or things that are justified in any citable way, like harassment and hate speech. The other weird thing is, and not to make it not personal or trivialize what's happened to Leslie Jones, but there seems to be such a crazy, weird, emotional connection to some of these like old movie franchises that anytime anyone redoes them and has any like unique modern twist on it, because a lot of the stuff with Ghostbusters, they saw a lot of negative feedback early on when they announced that the cast was going to be primarily female. All the leads were going to be female, and they're really funny people. Yeah. All four of the Leslie Jones, Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, they are hilarious people. But it's like just tweaking some franchise that people watched when they were 8 years old. Like for some reason makes them feel like justified to say hateful things to the people that, are creatively taking, a film or a story and doing a new twist on it. People's connection to these things are insane. Like, I get it. Yeah. Like, you like Ghostbusters when you were a kid and you don't want Ghostbusters to change. No one's going back and re-editing the, Bill Murray version. Right. Like, people are entitled, especially if they own the franchise and want to do something creative. People are entitled to do it. Like, who cares? Like, why would someone be hateful to the people doing it? It's not ruining something.
Yeah. Like, how does that in any way affect your enjoyment of the original one?
Well, I think people fear change, hate their familiarity changing. One of my friends, Lindsay, on Snapchat, she sat and just read these, I don't know if it was on Rotten Tomatoes or somewhere, but she read these comments from men, and she was just like, she's like, I have to stop at a certain point. And so it's interesting with the Leslie Jones situation. It's like, on one level, you don't want to give them any light, because it feels like it fuels them. On another hand, it feels like it's really important, like we talked about with the athletes, of bringing this to the attention of people, of talking about it, to hopefully doing something. And to answer your question, Eddie, I feel personally like it's the responsibility of each organization, whether it's Twitter or a website that's, written something about the movie, that they have a right on their platform to delete whoever they want.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yes, 100%, because this is a service being provided to people. It's not infringing upon their inalienable rights to free speech, because you have no right to free speech on a platform provided by a private company.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're allowed to censor whatever they want because their ultimate goal isn't the preservation of what you feel like you should be able to say. It's to create a user experience that people want to enjoy.
And you have the right to say whatever you want, but that does not mean that you deserve a platform on which to say it.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. That's right. And that's what's been really interesting and hard to watch is that the assumption of celebrity is, of course, they're going to have an account. Of course, they're going to be doing this sort of more interactive reality show-esque thing with social media where you feel like, oh, I can talk to Leslie Jones. I'm like, wasn't it just better when celebrities, and I'm talking like real celebrities, like people in a movie, just were disconnected. Yeah. Like they could live in a bubble where to get some real hate speech, somebody had to send them an awful letter or something. Like I feel like there's just too much access.
And for those of us who sent hate mail, it was a much more personal experience. Sitting down at my desk and writing those angry letters to Alan Alda.
Oh yeah, just full of vitriol for his portrayal of whatever on MASH.
Yeah, when Adam, I know the one that you sent to Michael Bay that was comprised of cutout magazine letters to let him know how displeased you were that the new Ninja Turtles had noses. I know that hit home for him.
I had to really put some thought and effort into it.
But I like with Leslie Jones, like just back to this, and then this is kind of my last thing, is like you watch through the entire thing because if you read up through the whole thread, you basically watch her unravel. Yeah. And it's just the saddest
thing. Yeah, she's
thing.
a human being.
She's
People are like,
lady.
She's
a person.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, she probably cried. She probably was at home or on the road somewhere, just incredibly sad. And I'm like, you don't have to be that person for us. You can just be in a movie and you can disappear. I don't love that we are almost demanding of our celebrity culture that they have some sort of interaction. Like, don't just make your art. And then we'll love it or hate it and review it and talk about it with our friends that we do or don't like it. And then you can disappear. I don't need to feel like I have to. But then conversely, they feel like it's a good place for them to spouse their thoughts all the time. And so I guess it's double-edged sword. But
and don't they deserve the same right to the same opportunity to take part in that platform that we do as, just normal everyday people? We enjoy using services like that.
Yeah.
Shouldn't they be able to do the same without fear of abuse?
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Abuse. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Anyhow, it was a terrible story, and I just, I appreciate all your wisdom on it. It was really hard to watch.
Let's all look at pictures of kittens right now.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's something that's that's good to address and be aware of. So, well, that'll do it for Slices. Next up, we have John Foreman.
Kiss on my lips that long for you. Is it the hearts that break in two? Can we use all these drugs we use? Try to always confuse it. You got me feeling alive. Can't hold you. We ain't gotta fight. Let's flow with it. This feeling I have inside now.
All right, well, you're listening to the song Flow With It by the band St. Paul and the Broken Bones. What a great jam. A really cool band. They always make really cool music. They got some new stuff out,
And-
so check it out.
And I got it. I look like the lead singer. Got it. No need to send me
Please tweet Eddie.
5 million tweets about how I look like the lead singer, because honestly, it's an insult to that man. I think that I think he is a very handsome guy, and I don't think he needs that kind of junk from us.
Well, our next segment is brought to us by Movement Watches, and Movement's MVMT watches.
I want one of these so bad.
They are so cool. And
I
so
know.
obviously here at Relevant, the Relevant Podcast, we always are teaming up with brands, especially in the podcast, that are doing things that are new. We love innovations and companies that are changing the industries that they're in. So when Movement introduced themselves and sent over some of their watches, we were super impressed. They are really cool. When we were doing the Trapped in the Cage the other week, me and Cameron stayed with me the whole time. I think that's why he's on vacation this week. We both need to mentally recoup so we didn't go insane. But we were both like looking at like a camera the whole time. People could watch us watching movies. And I would say there were 3 questions that we got the whole time. One was, are you tired? One was, what's the best Nicolas Cage movie you've seen so far? Over and over. And the third was, what kind of watch is that? And I'm not just saying that. That was literally, if you go back to the thread, people were constantly asking. And it was a Movement watch that Cameron was wearing. Really cool, clean design. And this company started by 2 broke college kids who wanted to wear stylish watches that couldn't afford them. Watches, especially luxury high-end watches, are really expensive. But they did some research and found that big brands were passing up huge retail markups to consumers. So they wanted to do something different. They began selling online so they could cut out the middleman and provide an unbelievable price. Watches that look like they should be $400 or $500 are now just like 95 from Movement. They're grown organically and purely supported by supporters and fans like you. You can go and see why over 1 million social media followers follow Movement to see latest updates about their brand. They are selling really cool watches at an affordable price. I think everyone who saw the one that Cameron was wearing would agree. We all want to get one now. And you can go browse on their website. If you go to movementwatches.com, that's mvmtwatches.com/relevant. They'll give you 15% off your entire purchase. That's mvmtwatches.com/relevant. And not only will you get a great deal on the retail price, but you also get 15% off that. So check it out now, movementwatches.com.
Man, I love those watches. They're so cool.
They are very cool. Well, John Foreman is the lead singer of California alt-rock outfit Switchfoot. They have a new album that just came out, Where the Light Shines, that combines their mix of hook-heavy alt-rock innovation, thoughtful lyrics, and catchy melodies. We recently got the opportunity to sit down with John, where he talked about the 5 songs that changed his life. This is a really cool segment. We've done it, I think this is our 3rd or 4th time, where we get to sit down with an artist or a songwriter. But John does something a little bit different. He actually organized it into like this playlist to get you through the day from when you wake up through the afternoon to before you go to bed, and talks about why these 5 songs he put in that order. He also talks about why music in general and the community he creates has been so moving to him throughout his life. So pretty cool opportunity to sit down with John Foreman, listen to a few jams, Eddie. Listen to a few jams with him.
Can you just give us a clue about one of the songs?
It's Tom Sawyer by Rush. Tom Sawyer by Rush. Tom Sawyer by Rush. Tom Sawyer by Rush. And Tom Sawyer by Rush.
The last one, he plays the drum part in the video game Rock Band, which is the hardest one in the game. So, it's really cool. Well, here it is. John Foreman, 5 songs that changed my life.
Okay, my favorite song to start the day is Flamenco Sketches by Miles Davis off Kind of Blue. It's on the second side of that record, and it's this peaceful beginning. For me, it feels like a deep breath before the day begins. And then I think as the day progresses, maybe you're ready for a little bit more. U2 with or without you. Still subdued, but it begins to, the day's rolling now. You might be ready for work.
And I'm waiting for you, with or without you. With or without you, I can't live. With or without you. And you give yourself away, and you give yourself away, and you give, and you give, and you give yourself away. My hands are tied, the body bruise she got me with, nothing to win and nothing left to lose. And you give yourself away, and you give yourself away, and you give, and you give, and you give yourself away, with or without you. With or without you, I can't live. With or without you.
And then I'd say when the levee breaks by Led Zeppelin might be an appropriate day to kind of ramp things up. I grew up on Led Zeppelin. I was in a Led Zeppelin cover band with my brother. That's pretty much the reason why I play guitar.
Cry won't help you, pray won't do you no good. No, cry won't help you, pray won't do you no good. When the levee breaks, mama, you got to move. Last night, I sat on the levee alone. Last night, I sat on the levee alone. I'm thinking about my baby and my happy home.
And then Radiohead, Just, would be another shot of caffeine for near the end of your day. For me, this was high school. That record was a very pivotal time for me.
You do it to yourself, you do. And that's why Redheads, you do it to yourself, just you. You and no one else, you do it to yourself. You do it to yourself. Don't get my sympathy hanging at the 15th floor. Change like 3 times, I still come reeling through the door. One day I'll get to you and teach you how to get to pure rest. And you do it to yourself, you do. And that's why Redheads, you do it to yourself, just you. You and no one else, you do it to yourself.
And then to wrap things up before you go to sleep, I choose the Beatles' A Day in the Life as kind of an example of what you can do in a song and how far you can push things. I still think that the Beatles, decades ago, pushed things further than most bands even today. So those would be my top favorite songs, I believe.
Woke up, fell out of bed, dragged a comb across my head. Found my way downstairs and drank a cup. And looking up, I noticed I was late. Found my coat and grabbed my hat. Made the bus in seconds flat. Found my way upstairs and had a smoke. And somebody spoke and I went into a dream.
I think every night is a dynamic difference because people are, for us, the reason why we play. And for me personally, I love the communal element of music. So we show up to the stage with a set list, but that really is only a partial, like the set list could change depending on what people feel like at the time, A couple nights ago, some kid came to the show with a sign that was handmade that said Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. And so we played Sabotage for him, So anything can happen.
Don't you need some more to lean on? Don't you need that taste of freedom? It don't take no education. All you need is an invitation. It's alright.
It is my occupation, but it's still my vehicle to explore heartache and joy and tragedy. And so I'm going to be playing these songs whether anyone's listening or not. Sometimes that's fine. Sometimes like you just want to explore the world by yourself with an acoustic guitar. And sometimes it feels right, after the show to find a bar or an alleyway or something, somewhere where you can play music that feels like there's no microphones, there's no smoke machines. It's just the human voice and people, late at night singing these songs. It's some of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had.
If you could only let go without, if you could just believe in me now, I swear that I won't let you go. I won't let you go.
In Edinburgh, Scotland, in this, they call them clothes, in this dark alleyway, and it's just probably 15 or 20 of us there, in the middle of the night, singing these songs, and those are memories that stick with you. I love rock and roll. I love loud guitars and drums and everything, but there's something beautiful about taking all that away and still having a reason to sing.
That was John Foreman. Up next, Preemptive Love founder Jeremy Courtney.
rocking my boat, getting sour by the hour, I know. But the dead fresh sound of your voice is keeping it cold. She got the raw gold. She got the raw gold. She got the raw gold. She got the raw. She got the raw. She got the raw gold. She got the raw gold. She got the raw.
You're listening to Raw Gold by the band Beaty Heart. Cool. Another cool jam, Eddie.
Just note it for Cameron. There's something there. I can't come up with it.
There's another pun there, Raw Gold by Beaty Heart. There's probably a couple. I feel like that one's kind of teed up for us. But
I do feel like next week we just need to, during the front part of the show, just you hit all these transitions again and let him just go for it.
Yeah, because I feel like he can do it with no preparation.
Right.
But I appreciate that you're staying with your dad responses of, well, real cool jam right there.
Heck of a tune by new young band, Raw Gold.
Real up and coming.
Whippersnappers.
This is what the kids are listening to. Beaty Heart. Well, Jeremy Courtney is the co-founder and executive director of the organization, the Preemptive Love Coalition. They're an international development organization based in Iraq. Not only do they provide life-saving heart surgeries to the children in Iraq, but also training for local doctors and nurses and create peace between communities at odds there. We recently got a chance to sit down with Jeremy, and one of the reasons that, we've talked to him a couple times throughout the years, and they do incredible things, but along with some of the recent escalations in violence in Iraq, his team was recently in a really intense situation in the city of Fallujah, where coalition forces were driving out ISIS fighters. But at the same time, it caused a lot of the residents there to flee to the desert, where they were without food and water and shelter. And Jeremy's team, the team from Preemptive Love, actually, were running from ISIS in an effort to deliver aid to the people that were forced to flee to the desert. So we talk a little bit about that, but we also talk about why the city of Mosul in Iraq, what's happening there could even be worse than what recently happened in Fallujah. Here's our interview with Jeremy Courtney.
Mosul is a city probably 10 times the size of Fallujah, and we believe there's anywhere from 10 to 20 times the amount of people trapped inside Mosul at this time that there were in Fallujah. And so we are gearing up for and scared of a much bigger humanitarian crisis than what we saw in Fallujah. And Fallujah was bad. Fallujah was terrible. The planning, the preparation, the mobilization, the coordination for helping Fallujans was abysmal. And we were one of the fastest, best equipped, best funded organizations. And it was purely from grassroots friends like Relevant who made it happen. We don't have UN funding. We weren't relying on huge outside grants from institutions or governments. It was just normal people giving a couple $100 here and there that made us able to do what we did. And friends like Switchfoot and Lecrae and Jen Hatmaker and others coming out and really championing the cause. But, the scale of what's going on in Mosul is going to be a lot bigger. And so those troops are on the way or have arrived already to gear up for that fight. And wherever the fight goes is where the humanitarian suffering goes as well. So as they drive ISIS out of their strongholds, they're also driving innocent civilians out of their homes. And so it's our job to kind of mitigate the human suffering while the military seeks to eradicate the threat itself.
When you talk about these humanitarian, the toll that's taking on all these people, both in the efforts in Fallujah and Mosul, What exactly are you talking about? Can you give me some examples?
Yeah, so even if you end up living in a city like Mosul or Fallujah under ISIS control, there's still a modicum of normalcy, or it can become a new kind of normal for you. You still have your home, or you have someone's home that you're living in. The rules may be draconian. The strictures on what you can do may be suffocating, but over time you learn what ISIS expects of you, and you can, to some degree, conform to those expectations. So women adopt the ridiculously strict policies about how they can behave in public or not be in public at all. Men learn what can be said and what can't be said, quit smoking, never be seen to be using their cell phones in a way that could be considered surreptitious or citizen journalism against ISIS, things like that. At its worst, ISIS or the militia who are against ISIS or the government who is against ISIS can create policies or tactics that result in entire areas being cut off from food and water. This is what we saw in Fallujah, where people started starving. Even as horrible as that is, and it's unspeakably horrible to go months without any real sustenance. We talked to a number of people who have come out of Fallujah and said, we didn't have anything to eat or drink for a month. People have talked about surviving on rotten dates. People have talked about eating grass. We've heard reports of people having to catch wild street animals like dogs and cats. And these are dignified people. I'm not sure what many of us think of when we think of Iraqis or Middle Easterners, Arabs, Muslims, but these are dignified people who do not live off street animals. It's a horrific thought to have to catch and kill a cat just to stay alive. But even so, even as horrible as that is, you have your home. You can go in at night and lock your door and pray to God that ISIS doesn't come in and rape or co-opt your daughters or whatever, but you still have a little bit of sense of fortress, as vulnerable as it may be. When airstrikes come against your city to dislodge ISIS, when troops enter into your city and go door to door fighting ISIS, and ultimately you have to grab whatever you can put in your hands in a few seconds and run for your life. When running for your life, ISIS is sniping at you from buildings to kill you as a civilian to prevent you from escaping. When ISIS grabs your children and uses them as human shields to prevent troops from advancing on you. When you have to carry your babies in your arms and advance through minefields that ISIS has set up, and you watch children and old people beside you being blown up every step along the way, and you hope to God you can make it through the minefield. And then on the other side of all that terror, you find yourself in an open desert with nothing but more open desert in front of you and no one there to help you. No food, no water, no shelter. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about human suffering. We're talking about going into the summer heat, 120, 125 degree heat, and people who have already been depleted and starving and without hope for months on end, thinking that maybe in some way they've gotten free, only to find out that their new reality in the desert is going to be its own kind of nightmare all over again. And so our task is to meet them in their nightmare. Some of our colleagues at other organizations have been repeatedly calling this situation hell on earth. And our task is to not accept the terminal conclusion that this is hell, that there's no way out, that this is forever, but to meet them where they are and transform this hellish or nightmarish situation into something that's full of hope, and try to help them see that there is another side to this. There is an awakening to this nightmare that they've been in.
When you talk about pushing back this hellishness, can you give me some specific examples of what you're talking about in terms of efforts at a practical level? And then on top of that, how can we relevant podcast listeners help out too? How can we get involved and serve your efforts in pushing back that kind of darkness?
Yeah, so thankfully, when the needs of a situation are so fundamental, the responses are not overly complex. I mean, what it takes to get the job done is highly complex, but what people need right now is not complex. They need food, they need water, they need shelter, they need medicine, they need protection. These things are not overly difficult to get our minds around. They're not difficult in some cases to procure and to actually deliver to those who need it most. The delivery often comes with great risk, as we experienced just a couple of weeks ago when our trucks full of 100,000 pounds of food broke down in the desert. We were on our way out to one of the least served areas of this Fallujah crisis, where some 27,000 people had arrived over the last day or two in the final push to liberate Fallujah from ISIS control. A big wave of people exited Fallujah and ended up in this holding camp. And so we loaded up our 2 huge semis with 100,000 pounds of food, and we were going out to this place that no one else had reached yet with food. And on the way out, around 1 in the afternoon, we had New York Times with our 2 trucks broke down on this private access military road that we had access to. And half the team ended up waiting with the trucks, and the other half of the team ended up going with New York Times to the camp, hoping to get things ready for the distribution. But the trucks never got unstuck. And unfortunately, we had to turn back to Baghdad for the night. And around that time, there was a major ISIS outbreak in the area. We were told, the military had declared that all military operations in the region were finished, that ISIS was eradicated. We didn't know there was any ongoing significant threat from ISIS, but there was a curfew put in place, and we were hearing rumors of a significant ISIS convoy, 450-car convoy, probably the largest convoy that anyone's ever seen of ISIS in this entire conflict, emerges out of these towns that are ostensibly liberated just days before, and this massive convoy of ISIS fighters amasses itself in the desert and starts making its way through the desert together. And so we've got 2 teams now in the desert at this point. One is stuck with our trucks, and the other one gets stuck at a checkpoint, and the soldiers won't let our guys back in. And the trucks, our drivers and our team leader at the truck end up stripping themselves down into their underwear, pulling away from the trucks about 20 feet and burying themselves in the sand just so that they aren't seen if this ISIS convoy rolls up on them. And sure enough, within a couple of hours, we're texting back and forth, and within a couple of hours, 80 cars of this ISIS convoy roll up on our trucks full of 100,000 pounds of food. And they use our trucks as a meeting point, and our team can hear them on the phone saying, yeah, we're at the trucks. If you see those trucks, meet us there. And 80 cars worth of ISIS fighters are out and milling about our trucks and our food and using it as a meeting point. Meanwhile, over at the other location, our team is stuck at this checkpoint watching airstrikes take place in the dark of the night against some unknown ISIS enemy in the area. And eventually those ISIS fighters roll on, and that half of the team survives the night, but the airstrikes against them end up hitting our team, hitting the other side of our team, and laying out our guys flat on the ground, damaging our car, causing head damage and hearing loss. And our team barely survived the night, both from the direct ISIS threat and the U.S. airstrikes against ISIS. So delivering this aid is not easy, but it's still very fundamental. You know, at the end of the day, people need food and they need water, and that's what we're doing every day. That's what we're undertaking, is daring to get into the hard situations and go to the hard places that few others are willing to go, to provide very basic things that people need to stay alive. So when you ask how people can join us, I mean, ultimately it's a pretty simple but powerful, profound partnership. When people give, right now we are turning $65 into a month's worth of food for an entire family. And we're going to places that no one else is really willing to go, and we're enduring the kinds of threat and hardship that few others are willing to endure. But at the end of the day, we're making a massive impact in the lives of kids and women and their fathers who have lived through the darkest nightmare of their life.
That was Jeremy Courtney. You can follow him on Twitter at jcourt, but also learn about what his organization is doing and how you can get involved to help the people of Iraq at preemptivelove.org. Well, you're listening to Subways by the band The Avalanche's innovative album. That is, that's another cool jam, Eddie.
Hot new record from a new band out of Liverpool, the Beatles.
Ladies and gentlemen, yeah. Well, last week we asked you, what is your most...
Sorry.
Last week, we asked you, or they asked you, I wasn't here, but I did listen. What is your most interesting or crazy Pokemon Go story? Adam brought us a couple that happened to people playing the new addictive game that all the kids are playing while they're listening to these sweet jams. So we asked you to write into us and tell us what the craziest Pokemon Go story that's happened to you or that you've heard of. You wrote us, here are some of our favorite responses.
Blake Johnson, I love his closing line. He tells a story about how he and his wife both are playing Pokemon Go. Personally, Matt and I, we share one phone and we do Pokemon Go together because we just don't trust each other. Anyways, Blake and his wife decided to have a date night where they picked up some Firehouse subs, drove to the university to plant some lures. That's where you can like pay money to make Pokemon's code to you. But other people can catch wind of this. And so he said about 2 minutes after the lures were being active, they noticed 15 people gathered in our vicinity to mooch off our spot. And then at least 100 people end up coming towards them and trying to get their Pokemon. So he said, if you lure it, they will come.
100 people?
That's crazy.
Yes.
That is insane. Like, I was on, vacation last week, and every place I would go, there were kids like riding bikes and walking around with their head down looking at their phone. I sound like an old person here, but I was legitimately afraid, like, look for cars, people. I mean, they're literally just wandering in and out of the road searching for Pokemon.
At least they're not inside playing the Nintendo, right? At least they're outside.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're getting a little exercise.
You move around, and I actually found a way, Chan, you might want to take note of this. Okay. If you're moving, like if you're driving, it shuts off.
Yes.
Because they realize you're driving, you're not walking.
Right.
If you are good on a bicycle, which I am, you can balance and ride slow enough so you don't have to walk, but you can get to Pokemons faster.
I skate, actually. I skateboard around my neighborhood.
Rollerblade.
Yeah. Yes, on rollerblades, right.
I have a Segway.
Yeah.
Your Bubba Watson hovercraft.
my little hip hop hoverboard. I think riding a Segway around, especially if you're wearing like a helmet and knee pads, catching Pokemon is the nerdiest thing that is literally possible by a human being.
Yeah.
So I that's what I plan on doing. Perry Ross said this past weekend, because a lot of I don't know if it's the same in Australia, Adam, but a lot of the Poke stops here and gyms are at church parking lots for reasons that are, I don't know if they're totally clear, but most of the churches around here are Poke stops and Poke gyms. Am I saying it right? Poke stops.
Poke stops. Yeah.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, nerds.
Nerd. Next.
Pokestop works. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Pokestop. So I'm going to be able to relate to the pastor in the story that so people were coming to all of the, during the 4 services on Sunday, people kept showing up, and the pastor wanted to be cool and like address the congregation and kind of let them know why people were just wandering around outside. And so he gave them a brief explanation not to worry, that Pokemon stood for pocket machines, and they have nothing to be afraid of. Which, of course, that's not what Pokemon. I think it's Pocket Monsters. But he said, even though he said it in the first service, no one corrected it. So he said it in all 4 sermons about these pocket machines that had invaded. But they said that the church was good sports about it and started offering free water bottles. But I don't know if anyone took them because they were only offered to people that had pocket monsters or pocket machines.
Now listen, I'm gonna ask you, Channing and Joy, a real simple question.
Okay.
And if it gets too complex or dorky, I'm gonna shut you down. Okay. I just need you to know what's about to happen.
Okay.
And Adam, you can weigh in. What is Pokemon?
I have no idea.
It was based off of apparently bug collecting was popular in Japan in the 90s. So someone who was a video game developer.
Bug collecting was popular in the 90s. I can't remember. For some reason, I missed that part of the decade.
No, in Japan. No, not here.
To speak for yourself, Jesse, I had a lightning bug motel.
So, I mean, speak for yourself. I still have a terrarium. Just lay off.
Yeah, I got more roly-polies than you can shake a stick at.
So basically, a video game developer took that kind of premise and made a video game out of it.
So the first iteration of Pokemon was a video game.
Yeah, it's a Game Boy game.
I thought it was like cards and...
I thought it was a card game.
Oh, that's Pog. How's Pog different?
Yeah, Pogs comes into this somewhere, right?
Well, yeah, I got a question. When do people start hacky sacking with these things?
Yeah. When does my brother's Dan Marino Pog intersect with this story? Because it was a sweet Pog, and I couldn't believe he got it.
I actually caught it at a Pokestop yesterday.
I got that in a Ninja Slammer that I lost when I was 11. A Ninja Star Slammer. It was.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway. Wild Dan Marino Pog appears.
It was a Game Boy game and a TV show.
All right, we got to be done. The next thing. Yeah. Move on.
Can I please read this from Gregor Morrill? It has nothing to do with Pokemon Go, but it's just too good.
Yeah.
He said, so last week, Eddie mentioned that before Wikipedia was more secure, he used to go on and change people's bios and whatnot. And he was really obsessed with Tony Danza. And so this Gregor Morrill went to see what was on Tony Danza's Wikipedia as if they hadn't changed it. So he wants to know, Eddie, can you confirm or deny? What?
He'd like the edit history on Tony Danza's Wikipedia.
I read all of those. They were hilarious. I didn't do any of those. I did more benign ones, like Tony Danza's my biological father kind of stuff. And it would stay up for a couple hours. But it was it would have had to have been early 2000s.
I don't know about you guys, but I I was watching that show, Who's the Boss, the other day. I'm like, hey, between those two clowns, who is the boss? Because it's supposed to be her, but sometimes I think maybe he teaches her more than she teaches. I don't know. It's kooky.
Who is it? He's employed by her, but
Which one's the boss?
But is it really Alyssa
Milano?
Milano? Isn't it Alyssa Milano? Like, isn't she the boss of that whole scenario? Because gosh, she's snarky.
Adam, you know what tickled me the other day? You know what really just, it was a real gas. You know what it was? The show Perfect Strangers, because they're cousins that don't know each other, but they are perfect for each other, but they're strangers. They're perfect strangers. He's from Meepos, man. Meepos. They've never met. It's what a hoot.
It strikes me, Jesse, that the Dukes of Hazzard, it's actually, they're Bo and Luke Duke of Hazzard County.
It's their last
But then
name.
they're also the Dukes as in the rulers of Hazard, as in Hazard County. But then they're also Bo and Luke Duke of Hazard, or Danger and Mayhem. But then on another note, they're also the Dukes as in the rulers or sovereigns of Hazard, as in Danger or Mayhem.
There's so many layers. That is just an onion, man. You just keep
It's a
peeling and
quadruple
keep peeling.
I feel like you guys have a tag team stand-up routine just waiting to happen.
This is just this is the tip of the iceberg of what those two are capable
I
of.
feel like we could do this with every TGIF
Straight
show there's
episode,
ever been.
yeah, TV
I
show.
feel like there was a time in TV history where
Guys, family matters, because there's like the different matters about family. But then, guys, think about this: family matters.
Yeah, like you
Step by
matter.
step, go.
Hey, mind blown. Literally never thought of. I'm pretty sure there's a time when TV shows were literally just reverse engineered from like common phrases in the
double
vernacular.
entendres.
They're like, okay, people say small wonder, right? What if it's a show about a small child who's also a robot that's a wonder of science?
It's called Small
Wonder.
Yeah.
How about this? Major Dad, okay? But he's a major in the military, but he's a major dad. He's also emotionally distant, which doesn't sound like it'd be a great comedy, but we'll figure it out.
Jesse, it's amazing to me that these roll off your tongue, and yet you cannot do the transition song puns to save your life.
All right, well, for this week's, now it's time for this week's
editorial question of the week. Hey.
So, earlier this on the podcast, we were talking about how Bubba Watson wanted to improve the game of golf by introducing rocket packs, which honestly would literally improve any activity.
How it's not been done already is beyond me.
Yeah, but we want to know from you, what is your idea to improve a sport? I think about these all the time. Like, I like to watch sports, I like to play sports, but I feel like the older you get, the harder it is to be competitive at sports. But I've already thought of ways to, like, I don't like watching soccer, but I feel like if they put two balls out there, and it took away the goalies, it would be so much more action.
Right. No, that's a great point.
You're so right.
Think about
amazing.
that. It would be such a better game. Okay, so here's another one. Like, if even just metal bats in baseball, and pitchers have to throw underhand, there'd be so many more home runs. It'd be awesome.
It'd be so amazing. Everything's basically a home run.
Yeah, I think I'm all about doubles tennis, but what about quadruples tennis, where there's 4 people on each side of the court?
That's a great one. How about just any sport, but then they get to eat candy during it?
Yeah, exactly. So we want to know from you, what are the best ways that you can improve sports? Get creative here. The Olympics are coming up, so don't exclude Olympics, because most Olympics, especially summer games, are really lame. It's just people throwing stuff.
That is
really far.
incredibly hurtful. I love the Olympics.
Here's a big, heavy ball. See how the guy that can throw it the furthest.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. If shot putting, the ball was just on fire.
Exactly. There are tons of
things
these sports are way, like, introduce rollerblades to any sport. I think it gets better.
I despise you. Can we please, Jesse, I'm talking to Jesse, Joy, you are an angel. Jesse, can we please just have 5 minutes of Olympic talk next week? Because we did this 4 years ago and it did not work out. Or 2 years ago with like the
about
Winter
debating
Olympics.
whether the Olympics are totally lame or
like why they're the best, by far the best sporting competition on the face of the earth.
Well, we can, but we'll probably do it in the context of editorial question of the week, because I want to know how people can improve those sports by introducing new technology, changing the rules, or just making them more watchable or playable. So you can because Lord knows the Olympic ones aren't either. No one, I guarantee no one listening has ever even thrown a javelin, much less more than 10 minutes watching it before you change the channel and realize how boring it was what you're watching. So go to the podcast page on relevantmagazine.com. Hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast. And we'll try to read some of the responses on the show tomorrow. Well, guys, this was a lot of fun. I had fun hosting, but I'm definitely going to relinquish the reins next week for reasons that are clear to anyone who's listening, who's stuck around to this point.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for bearing with me. I had a lot of fun today.
I thought it was great.
It was great.
Well, we also want to thank our sponsors, the Israel Tourism Board. Go to israel.travel and discover a side of Israel you've never seen. Also, Movement Watches. That's movementwatches.com/relevant. MVMT.com/relevant, and it'll give you 15% off your entire purchase. Also, thanks to our guest today, John Foreman. You can follow him at John Foreman on Twitter, and there's no H in that, Jon Foreman on Twitter, or at Switchfoot on Twitter. Their new album, Where the Light Shines Through, is available everywhere. And thank you to Jeremy Courtney. You can follow him at jcourt on Twitter and see more about some of the cool work they're doing and try to support what they're doing at preemptivelove.org. Also,
no H in that either. Sorry, keep going.
Preemptive love.
Preemptive.
In case you don't know how to spell preemptive, there is no H in that.
There's no H in most things. Sorry, keep going.
Also, don't forget to get the magazine. We got a new issue that recently came out. That is, I mean, we have so many great interviews in there with Andra Day. We talked with Chuck Klosterman. We unpacked
there is an H in
a lot of.
There's an H in Chuck.
There is an H in Chuck. You're right about that. I think there's one in Klosterman too. But we talked to a lot of interesting people. It's one of our favorite issues that we've done. You want to get the magazine now? You can subscribe at relevantmagazine.com to get the latest issue. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at Relevant or at Relevant Podcast, and we're also on Facebook. We love for you to check us out there.
Again, no H's in any of that. Shocking.
Yeah.
H is such a common letter.
If you put H's in any of that, you'll be redirected.
I mean, in Wheel of Fortune, it's one of the top guest letters. It must be H's. So that's
it's H and S.
Yeah.
But
RSTLNE is their base.
RSTLNE. Come on, guys.
Obviously, but interesting. No H in that. Well, keep going.
Well, that's all we have for today. So thanks for listening, everyone. I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Joya Gertrude.
I'm Eddie with an H.
I'm Chandler Strang.
Ooh, with an H.
Yeah.
A couple H's.
I'm Adam Smith.
For Cameron, who's out on vacation, we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Connect with us on Twitter at Relevant Podcast and get bonus material from this episode and more at the podcast section on relevantmagazine.com. And don't forget to check the magazine out. It's available on newsstands and at the iTunes App Store, or you can subscribe online at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
Because they're cousins that don't know each other, but they are perfect for each other, but they're strangers. They're perfect strangers.